With this video, we come at the end of the first module. And after a short summary, Hafez and I will discuss one specific item which we haven't addressed so far. But first, looking back, I think we have already taken quite some steps to think about the relation between music and society. We have talked about and seen how music is almost always around us, from the moment we get up till the moment we go to sleep. We have looked at 2 interviews. Perhaps you have kept a sonic diary over the past few days and had a close look at the reading stuff we have selected for you. And on top of that, I have listed several roles and functions of music in our contemporary society through a particular example, namely Brian Eno's Music for Airports. Now, of course, I'm also happy that I can listen to my favorite music at almost any moment of the day. When I travel, I'm almost always using my headphones and playing music, either not to hear the noises or uninteresting conversations in my environment, or to be able to concentrate on the work that needs to be done while traveling by train or plane. But simultaneously, I also think back on George Steiner, who in the 1970s asked what negative effects all this music might have. And this brings me to the opposite of music's omnipresence, namely the almost complete absence of silence in our daily lives. I remember very well from my own youth how silent it was. We had no stereo, only a small radio, mostly for the news and the weather forecast. There was hardly ever music on the streets, and as far as I can remember, stores were not playing any music. And the other day I was having dinner in a restaurant, and when we entered it, we noticed something, but at first we couldn't really figure out what it was. It seemed like it was empty, even though there were quite a few guests. And then we suddenly heard that there was no music playing, and we really had to get used to that. So I guess, Hafez, my question to you is,
yes.
Have we become afraid of silence? Don't we need some silence every now and then?
Well, I think that's a really good question. And I don't know whether we are really afraid of silence, but I mean, I think we are living in societies which are saturated with sound. I mean, just when we don't say anything, there's already sound here playing, right? Because we're recording here at the conservatory and there's all kinds of repetitions going on. So to find a place within society where there's an absolute absence of sound seems to me quite challenging or perhaps even impossible. However, in this saturated environment, saturated with sound, people do seek another type of silence, which is not the absence of silence, but they seek a sonic, let's call it a sonic bubble, where at least the sounds that are playing there are sounds which they find desirable, so not agitating, right? I mean, cars driving by, people talking, phones ringing, and so on and so forth. These can be really annoying, agitating sounds. So in that sound bubble, you can at least play music you find desirable. That's one thing. And the other thing has to do with controllability, right? There's a rehearsal going on. I don't mind the music, but I can't control it. However, if I'm playing on my iPod, I'm playing my playlist, I can switch. No, this song is now better. Now I want to listen to this song, and so on and so forth. So I can control this sound. So silence in the sense of a sonic environment that I don't find agitating is something we do seek, I think.
Yeah, but coming back to that, you know, we were having dinner yesterday evening, me and my family, and we were chatting and talking about school, about work, and about soccer.
Sure.
And at a certain moment, my oldest daughter asked me, you know, Dad, can we put on the radio? Because it is so silent here. But we were having a conversation, we were having a good time. So why this need to add on top of our conversation this music?
Sure. Well, I think that's silence in the sense of absence of silence. That kind of silence has one particular feature, I think, which is really important, and that's silence is really confronting. If there's no music, if there's no sound, you and only you become responsible for creating the atmosphere. And if that's an atmosphere which is somehow not interesting, perhaps a bit boring, or somehow unappealing, then that will right away, you will right away feel that atmosphere. And I think therefore we tend to play music to cover up the fact that it's kind of hard to stay sonically interesting. And talking about sonically interesting environments, I think we pay a lot of attention in visually shaping the environments we live in, right? We take great care in designing nice buildings, the infrastructure looks nice. But my question to you would be, how about designing a sonically appealing environment? Do you think we take enough care when we are designing a sonic environment, Marcel?
Well, of course, as you said before, and as I also told you in the introduction, we are, by using headphones all the time or lots of time, and by using the iPod and the mobile phones, we already are selecting our own music. So we live in this sonic bubble quite a few hours a day. So in that sense, we are already designing our sonic environment. The music that is playing everywhere around us, in shops, in restaurants, in elevators, while we're waiting on the telephone, etc., is also saying already something about how our society is sonically designed. But I think one thing perhaps we forget, and that is what we do with the music that we're playing is covering all the existing sounds that are already there. So perhaps it is time that we think about how we can design those sounds that are already there. Now, of course, there is something like sonic design, so lots of devices, our microwaves, etc., have a kind of sonic design. But I think the way all these devices and things that are surrounding us interact with one another sonically, that needs more attention. So in that sense, I think we can make a next step where music is not used to cover sounds, because these sounds in themselves can be already of interest.
Interesting. So I think this next step would be a nice place to end the discussion, because the next step asks from us to think not only about the fact that music is omnipresent, but it also asks from us that we need, it's not only that we seek, but that we need some kind of silence and some kind of responsible design of sonic environments. And we therefore invite you to participate in a discussion thinking about the sonic environment. Do you agree that we need more attention when designing this sonic environment? We hope to hear from you and read your reactions. And for now, thank you for participating, and we hope to see you next module. Thank you.